Hey everybody, welcome to TRA 4435, Port Operations, Port and Terminal Management Operations. Um, I just want to welcome everybody and go over what's expected for the term. As I posted in the announcements earlier this morning, we do have a new student in the class, and we have some that are returning to the class after a break from the program. So make sure that you're going in and under discussions or getting started and go into the introduction forum right here. So go in, make sure you introduce yourself to the student and that you're applying to each other's introduction. Alright, so let's go over the syllabus real quick. Of course, you have your course objectives for each term and each class, and upon completion of this course, the student will be able to demonstrate an understanding of the history of port operations, ownership of the ports and management of the ports, analyze the port operations and investment as they are related to the economic growth of the port and the economy that it supports. Differentiate between port size, positioning, how they differentiate themselves from other ports, and relate it to the port's performance. You want to diagram the regulatory framework of port operations and relationships with the port authorities and some of the strategic alliances that exist out there. Evaluate the importance of port relationships with offshore energy activities. Identify issues involved with port strategic development and marketing forecasting. Just like any other business, you have to continually review, analyze, and upgrade and change as things in the world change. With COVID, we've seen this. We also see it with the expansion of the size of ships that are going in and out of ports. So we will be talking a lot about that. Examine how ports have responded to key challenges, problems, issues that are related to technological developments, and we've talked a lot about how technology plays a big role in logistics and supply chain management, and it's no different for port operations. Okay, in the syllabus you'll find my contact information, so it might behoove you to download it, save it to your computer, or print it out so that you have it in case your electric goes out, your computer crashes, whatever it might be. You have my contact, so you can at least email me, let me know what's going on. I'm a big proponent of communications. If you're having an issue, make sure that you let me know so that we can work it out and figure out a solution. Don't wait until the night of the assignment that's due to tell me, because that's usually too late. At that point, I'm probably not going to give you any extension, depending on the situation. I understand that life happens, and I was once where you are now, so I do get it, but do not wait till the last minute to communicate with me on that. And this is the breakdown of how you will be graded. You have 10% for your homework, 20% is internet research project and presentation. For us, it's going to be a PowerPoint presentation, which we'll talk about in just a minute. You have weekly exams, 20%, your midterms, 20% of your grade, your final is 25% of your grade. The midterm will cover weeks 1 and 2. The final will cover 1, 2, 3, and 4, and your weekly exams, which will be week 1, will cover week 1, and your week 3 will cover week 3. If you have any questions about that, let me know. And then post-test is 5% of your grade. So the pre-test is not a graded assignment. It is not included in your grade. However, it is important that you take that pre-test. Number one, it gives me an idea of what your knowledge, or where your knowledge lies in the course, as well as the baseline of what you know. So then at the end of the class, when you take the post-test, I can kind of determine how much you've retained over the 4 weeks. and it helps me to adjust my teaching and my courses for future students. The letter grade scale is the same for all Kaiser courses, 90 to 100A, 80 to 89.99B, 70 to 79.99C, 65 to 69.99 D, and 64.99 and down is an F. And then you have your different learning objectives for each week, and then the rest of the syllabus. So the one thing I will say for late work, as I said, if you communicate with me and you know that you're going to have difficulty submitting on time and communicate with me early, we can work out a solution or a plan. But if you wait till the day, that Sunday that it's due, and you're telling me at 11 o'clock, that's not going to happen. You waited until it was due and then you decided that it's too late. So make sure that you're communicating with me. If I do accept something late, it will be 5 points deduction for each day that it is late, unless we've spoken otherwise. So again, communicate, communicate, communicate. It's key to success in this program. For those of you who are new, I want to get that out there. For those of you who are returning, I just want to reiterate it. You already know from working with me in the prior classes. Each week you have a discussion. What I expect is that you'll answer the discussion questions. You should have 4 separate posts on 3 separate days. So if you answer a discussion post on one day and discussion post number 2 on a second day, that's 2 days. And then if you just respond to other students on another day, there's your 3 days. Make sure you're doing at least 4 separate posts on 3 separate days. Again, if you have questions, please let me know. And each week, I think for this term there are 2 questions for each post. Yes. Okay. And I've added some videos in to kind of break it up and make it a little more entertaining. All right. I suggest that you look over the Getting Started section. Make sure that you are that you have your course textbook. If you do not, please let me know as soon as possible, because you will need it to pass this course. And some of you I know have not ordered the textbook in the past, and I can tell when you have and you haven't, because I can tell when you're getting the information off the internet, because usually there's something incorrect or you're all doing the same reference, and I will start taking off for that. If I can prove that you did it, I will take off for it. All right, certification. And when I say your references are all the same, like if you have an error in the reference, they're all the same because you're just copying and pasting off the internet. Certification. Make sure that you're certifying that you will complete your own work, and then make sure that you're taking the pretest. And again, if you don't know the material, it's no big deal. It gives me a good idea of what you do know. So you'll have 15 minutes to take that. Your introductions, as I said, there are some PowerPoints on APA formatting for a PowerPoint, tutorial videos on how to do PowerPoint if you're not sure on how to do them, and or prepare a PowerPoint presentation, and how to add narration to a PowerPoint, because you will be adding your voice to your PowerPoint slides. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with week 1. Week 1, you will have to read chapters 1, 2, and 3. Chapter 1 is an introduction to port operations and management. It also, chapter 2 is connecting the hub port gateways to the inland infrastructure. So connecting the port to the different inland cities and warehouses, things like that, that connect to the port that they service and are interconnected. Chapter 3 is port management and economic growth. So week 1 discussion. In the video they talk about how South Carolina's economy is impacted by port operations, How do they affect the economies for the areas that they deliver to and service? What risks might the port face? So after you do your reading, you should know some of these answers and associate it to the video. Discussion post number 2, what did you learn about port operations that you did not know before, and why is this important for you to know and understand? These are questions that you can't, you can get information from your reading, but these are questions that are coming from you. What did you not know before that you do now from this video? So I want to hear your views on that. Week 1, so for the term we have a PowerPoint presentation, and for this you'll be required to select a port from the list below and prepare a PowerPoint presentation. And with that PowerPoint presentation, as I said before, you'll have to insert narration to talk to the slides. And each slide must have a header, meaning it must have a title at the top of what the topic is that you're going to be discussing on this slide. So your choices of the ports to report on are Shanghai International Port in China, the Port of Singapore, Port of Hong Kong, China, Port of Los Angeles, Port of Long Beach, Port of Houston, Port of Miami, Port of New York, Port of Seattle, Tacoma, Port of Barcelona, Spain, Port of Hamburg, Germany, and Port of Haifa, Israel. So if you would like to do any other port, you must contact me as soon as possible in week 1 to propose that, and then I will look at the information available to see if there's enough. If so, then we'll go ahead and approve it. If not, then you may need to choose from this list. I would like you to stay with this list because I know the information is out there. Shanghai can be a little tricky sometimes because the government controls the information that gets out. So same with Hong Kong. But if you would like, maybe you have a special interest in a port somewhere else, then propose it to me through email and we will go from there. Alright, so there must be at least 7 slides and your narration must be at least 5 minutes in duration. So what I'll do is, as I see your narration, I'll see how many minutes you've included and add that up, and it must be at least 5 minutes. I would like to have a narration with each slide if possible. So your introduction, you want to introduce the port that you have chosen, speak about why you chose it, provide history on the port, and discuss who governs the port. Is it privately run? Is it run by the city? Is it run by the county, the state? What? Then I need a slide on connecting the port to the inland infrastructure, the ship size, port constraints, port operations, strategic alliances, and what are some of the challenges and features plans that exist for the port, and then a conclusion slide. So for the first week, your instructions are down here. I would encourage you to watch the YouTube videos if you're unfamiliar with PowerPoint. But for week 1, on a Word document, tell me what port you have chosen and why you have chosen it. Why you chose it, sorry, I shouldn't have written it that way. Include at least 3 references that you have found to support your choice. So I want to see also some references that you have included. I would like to see some from ProQuest or EBSCO in the Kaiser Library, but not necessary at this point. Alright, and then a week 1 quiz. Go ahead and take your week 1 quiz before Sunday at 11:59. The way extra credit works is if you attend the course, you get 0.5 points, but you must participate when questions are asked. Otherwise, just do a summary, submit it to me, and you can earn up to 0.5 points. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when it equates to 2 points, it can mean a difference between a B or an A. Alright, so that's the introduction to the class, and it's also the introduction to week 1. If you have any questions, please let me know, and have a great day.